How to kill a god in MechaBreak, aka Tricera. I see a lot of people are struggling right now with dealing with Tricera and will argue that Tricera is completely OP and there is nothing really you can do about it. Now, I would not disagree that Tricera got definitely buffed a little bit over an ideal point, but the reality is there is actually quite a bit of things you can do against Tricera and even dominate Tricera in certain games. But the easiest way to do it is working together with your team. The moment when the whole team is starting to focus on Tricera, even a Tricera will not survive for long. Now, I can already hear you say, Mole, lol, this is a pub game. Do you really believe that my team is working with me? I get that. Especially on the lower ranks, that's not really happening. So what you want to do is, no matter which striker you are playing, is you have to know what Tricera can and can't do. And the biggest problem is, of course, when Tricera is in the Fortress mode. And if a Tricera player sits in the Fortress mode, there are a few things you have to know. First, the shields Tricera is putting around him is like a 360-degree shield and will be depleted before the actual fluid armor gets damaged. The thing is, the shield only regenerates when Tricera is not in the Fortress mode. I see some Tricera players forgetting that sometimes. Also very important, the shield is only surrounding Tricera. There is no shield underneath Tricera, which doesn't really help you too much, and directly above Tricera. This is very important for melee fighters, but everyone else, because Tricera also has the problem while in Fortress mode, Tricera can only look up to a 45 degree and not further. So if you are above Tricera, you are basically out of range. Also, Tricera sometimes has issues with enemies directly in front of the mech, so you can play around that. But if you don't want to do that, because that's too dangerous and you don't really see an opening, do it the other way around. Stay away as much as possible from Tricera, because you can actually still shoot even if you are not locked on to a striker. You can still hurt them, you can still hit them. And no, you don't have to be a sniper to do that. You can do that with nearly every striker which has a ranged weapon, besides a Pinaka. Don't try to snipe somebody with Pinaka's attack. That's not a good idea. But that is definitely something which helps. Another thing, and this is where we are now slowly starting to talk about the striker possibilities, are snipers. An Aquila and a Narukami can outsnipe a Tricera easily, especially if you don't want to lock on and you do the normal aiming, then you can totally take them out from afar. Also, whenever you can, try to strike a Tricera as often as possible when they are not in the Fortress mode, because if they aren't, they're actually quite squishy. But there is actually one striker which brings a lot of utility and is a direct counter to Tricera, and that is Hurricane, which you are also seeing here in the background in the video I'm playing right now. And Hurricane is a direct counter. Now, I know that Hurricane costs quite a bit of points, so not everyone will be able to afford Hurricane, but it is still important to know about this. So what does Hurricane bring to the table to actually defeat a Tricera? Well, there is first the energy shield, aka the one ability you can pop out around you and it will catch all the stray bullets, and also your right click, which is popping a shield in front of you. But far more important is the decoy it provides. The decoy drone will pop up, and what I see from a lot of Tricera players is they are unloading everything they got immediately in the first 2 or 3 seconds, and that will mostly just hit the energy shield around you or the decoy drones, and then the Tricera is actually not that scary anymore. And your turret drones you can pop up, and also your splitter lasers can actually do a lot of damage. But the secret weapon against a Tricera coming from a Hurricane is the energy blaster, your left click. What you want to do is you want to charge the left click fully. Not only does it conserve quite a bit of ammo, but when you then shoot the energy blaster, you will leave a lingering effect on the target, whatever you hit with that energy blast. So not only do you do quite a bit of damage, you will also leave a damage over time effect on that position. And, well, Tricera is not moving much, so they are getting like the full effect of that energy blaster. And yes, you can use the energy blaster without locking on, you just have to aim manually. The good news is, again, Tricera is not moving much, so it's totally possible. And with that, most of the time, Tricera players are not really a problem to me. Now, with that said, this doesn't mean that all those things will make it super easy to beat a Tricera player, right? There are good Tricera players out there. There are people who are also helping out Tricera and so on and so forth. Like, there are always like a lot of moving parts, which will make it hard to sometimes just fight a Tricera, and sometimes it's the right idea to just leave the Tricera in the corner and go somewhere else if you can. But those tips should really help you to actually take care of Tricera and get that striker managed, right? And I hope it doesn't rage that much. With that said, if you still have some questions, comments, like, and also if you're new to the channel, you see more MechaBreak videos. We already have a few. I also have some live streams here on YouTube. So subscribe to the channel as well. And thank you to all the people who have done that. With that said, thanks so much for watching. Stay safe.